Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Hexxium and welcome back to another very important and very interesting video. This will be a very long video, however I think you will find it very interesting. And if you're a member of Booster Busters, or if you enjoy our effort against cheaters, hackers, and modders over the past few years, and what we do for Call of Duty and every other game in the world that we can find cheaters in, you'll find this conversation with this Xbox support representative very interesting. This guy, he might not have been the most helpful, and some of the things he said for help might not have been the most helpful. You know, like obviously changing my gamertag and my email still isn't going to change my unique user ID like he says it will. However, this user, representative I should say, is very, very nice. He's very helpful, he compliments our team, and he also discusses what's really important on Xbox and what Xbox needs seriously badly, like really badly, needs to improve on. And this is like the most real conversation I've ever had with somebody that works at Xbox. Like, this guy understands this shit really well and he knows what he's talking about. And I want to share this conversation with you guys. And I will send this to Lost in Place too for Booster Busters if he wants to upload it. I doubt he'll want to upload something this long, but should he want to, he can. And either way, you guys can watch it on my channel. And it's just, I don't know really how to explain it. I hope you guys enjoy this conversation with him. And I tried to talk to him about how people spoof my gamertag. That's what the conversation was about. And I knew that he wasn't going to really be able to provide very much help to me. And I already knew a lot of the things he was going to say. But that being said, I was very, very surprised. Like, genuinely surprised at some of the things this guy said. And he was truly helpful. If I recall correctly, his name was Daniel, or something along those lines from the video that I'm going to show you guys. So to you, Daniel, if you ever see this, because I know you were going to look up Booster Busters, if you ever see me or my channel or this video, I want to personally thank you for the amazing job you do at Xbox support. You know, you guys are truly the most responsive support team for a major brand out there. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for this conversation, and I'm going to share it with everybody now. I love you guys that are watching this video. You guys are the fans. You guys are amazing. And if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't have been able to establish the fan base I have without you guys and without the help of Lost in Place and the community known as Booster Busters. So thank you so much for everything, everybody. And happy birthday to my channel, because my channel turned 2 years old just a few days ago. I love you guys. More videos coming soon. Hexxium out.
Thank you for contacting Xbox customer support. Daniel speaking. How can I help you today?
Hi, I have an interesting issue to discuss if you guys are able to help me at all with this.
Sure.
I'm sure you guys probably get, well, I don't know how often you get a call like this, but I'm sure you guys are aware that there's people that hack on Xbox Live, and I'm sure you're aware of some of the things they do. The problem I have is being somebody who makes videos on YouTube, specifically one who used to expose these kind of people. They have a hack which allows them to spoof my gamertag, and I'm sure you guys are aware of that hack. The problem I have with that is then I get this massive amount of hate, and I was wondering if it's possible for you guys to reset my gamertag to a default username so they can't continue to abuse my name through Xbox, because I don't play anymore on Xbox because of this. But
oh, I see. So basically, you're needing a gamertag name change.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't really care what the name is. I would just like it to be, you know, like defaulted or reset, so that somebody can't abuse my name like they currently are. Because if I go to my messages right now, even though I haven't been on for over a month, there's a huge amount of messages to my profile saying that I'm hacking and cheating in their games when I've never played Xbox in over a month now. So.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. This is one of those things. I mean, okay. So let me see here. See, unless it's a forced gamertag change due to like offensive like gamertag or anything, I mean that's like not something that we can actually do. I mean, you'd have to do on your own. And the only thing is, let's see. The only thing is, I mean, you'd still have to pay for it. I mean, and that's the only problem, because I mean, we don't have anything on our system that will actually allow us to change the gamer tag and override the cost. And as a matter of fact, we can't even change the gamer tag on an account. I mean, the only way that anything can ever be changed on an account would be if like the enforcement team comes in and forces the gamer tag change name, and they would change it. But I mean, as far as us being able to change the name, we're not able to. You'd have to actually go in and actually change your gamer tag. But I mean, it's going to, since I'm assuming that you actually changed it before, like when you first got it.
But I think it was years ago when I did that.
Yeah, and the only thing is, you can change it. It's just gonna be. Let me see how much it is. I think it's like $9.99 to change it. I'm not like 100% sure. Let me just take a look real quick.
Would it be possible to contact the enforcement team to see if they were able to do it?
You can, but what you would have to do is go to enforcement.xbox.com and then sign in with your account. And then once you sign into your account, there should be a way to contact them there. Let's see here. Give me just a moment here. Yeah, because the only thing is, for that, if anything, if they're able to do it, you just have to sign in with your account and password, and then let's see. What you would do is, what's the best way to do this? You would just, you would just go on to so basically you would sign in with your account, and then what you would do is, basically you would click on notifications and inquiries under Xbox Overview, and then you would be able to contact them in that way. So basically you would sign into your account, click on How Do I, and then on the left-hand side, it will say, like, notifications, inquiries, and then that's how you would contact them. But, I don't know if they would be able to do it because of it not being a situation where, like your gamer tag's offensive or anything. But, it doesn't hurt to contact them and let them know. It's just, right. You'd have to hope that they can see it your way. Because, like I said, we don't have a way of doing that ourselves. And if they can't do it either, then the only other way you could do it is you'd have to go into your account, do the gamer tag change, and do it for a fee. And then that's probably the best that I could tell you on this.
All right. I don't know if you would know the answer to this question, but when I change my gamer tag, I know that whenever hackers are able to acquire your gamer tag, it's because they know your unique user ID. When I change my gamer tag, my unique user ID stays the same, correct? Like in your system?
Yeah, it does. It does in the system, correct.
So whenever they were to use my name henceforth after that, it would redirect to whatever my profile name would be then in that profile. I've already made my description of my profile explaining what happens to people, but people are just blind and don't really care. And
then that's the thing. That's the thing. In that case, if that's the case, what you might have to do is change your email associated with the account so if they tried to do that, then they couldn't track it down. You have a couple ways you can go about this. If you really want to change the gamer tag, you would. But if you're worried that if you change your gamer tag and they still can track it, then what you're going to have to do is change your email associated with your account, because then it throws it off. If they tried to find it, it won't actually necessarily connect it, because then you've changed your email. So in that case, it won't, because if you change your gamer tag but your email and everything stays the same, then, I see where you're saying there might be a possibility it could track it to the new gamer tag. But if you were to change the email associated with the account and they're trying to look at it via email, then not only have you changed your gamer tag, but you've changed your email. I think it'd make it a little bit harder for them to try to track you down, per se. If that's what you're worried about. That would be my best suggestion on that. On that end, as far as that's concerned. I would change your email if you're worried about if they're trying to find out what your new gamer tag is because of the connection. Then I would just change your email as well. And then that way it'd be harder for them to pretty much locate you at that point.
All right. It's just been an ongoing issue. I know when the Xbox 360 used to get title updates somewhat constantly, it would stop them for a little while, but since you guys have moved on to the Xbox One, there hasn't really been any action taken toward this issue, and it's been absolutely horrible for YouTubers like myself. I mean, it's got to be bad for famous people too, but just for my small YouTube channel, because I expose hackers, they really hate me, and as a result of that, they'll do this. With
well, I mean, I will tell you this, on behalf of experts, I mean, we really appreciate what you do. I mean, because that's the exact thing we don't want. I mean, we don't want hackers trying to get, people like that are trying to compromise accounts, per se, and get into stuff. I mean, so we really appreciate that, sincerely, because, that's the thing that we are trying to eliminate. And I don't think it ever will happen to where we can eliminate everyone, because every time it seems like, we can get to the bottom of, let's say, a few, people that do that, then there's always other people that are trying to do something. So, I mean, we're not going to ever stop it completely, but, I mean, our best bet would be to contain it enough to where it's more of a, let's say, isolated incident than, say, like an occasional incident. I mean, you're never gonna stop it completely, but I mean, I do understand from your standpoint, man, what you're going through, because I mean, it's something you want to do. So, I mean, I really do commend you for that. It's one of those things that really there's like such a I guess a fine line, because you're not only exposing them, then other people find out, and it becomes, I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, like, I give you a lot of credit, because that would be something that's very tough. I mean, even for us as agents, I mean, because then you're putting your name out there and everything, and it's tough. I mean, people call in and want to complain, and people call in and it's like, this and that, and who knows? I mean, it could all be a show too, but...
Right. I'm sure that by now you guys have probably gotten... you probably can't view it on your end, but I get messages in my inbox saying that I've been reported by this many people and that. I'm like, I didn't really do anything in the game, and I understand.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, and that's the thing. They want to make stuff up. See, this is the thing. This is why I know, even though you get all these messages, that none of them will actually stick. They won't filtrate. Is because if you're not on Xbox Live, right, playing the games, and you're not on Xbox doing stuff because of that, and people try to report you to the enforcement team, the enforcement team is going to throw it away, because they're going to see that this gamertag is not on. This gamertag does not play. And they're going to investigate themselves. Why is this gamertag not on? And why is everybody reporting? Then, I'm sure the enforcement team will realize, and they will know, one way or another, that you're actually exposing these guys, and that's why they're doing it. So, I mean, even though you get all these messages, I mean, I highly doubt, in your case, that you're going to get anything, any sanctions or anything like that, because you're doing what you want to do. And so, with that, of course, comes the risk of what you're saying. But at the same time, I mean, there could be 200 people that report you, but if you're never on and they figure that out, and they're going to eventually find out, hey, maybe this guy's doing something that we don't know about, because all these people want to report. But see, they also look at who reports it too. So I mean, it goes both ways. So I mean, if they see that all the reports are coming from people who have been suspended or people who have done things wrong themselves, then they pretty much throw all your reports out the window, and then they like, maybe these guys just don't like this person, and they could determine that. I mean, if you're never on there playing, then I wouldn't worry about.
They've done fairly well as far as that goes, because the 2 years or whatever it's been, I think it's 2 years now as of like yesterday, that I've done this exposing thing. I've never been banned for that. I've been banned one time ever on Xbox, and that's apparently for having the word fuck on my bio 3 years ago. That was a one-day suspension, but other than that, I mean, they've never banned me. They've banned some of the people I've exposed, but it's just kind of... Exactly.
See, they know that. So, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. If they look at your reputation, they look at what you've been doing, and you're not on there, and then they get all these egregious reports, then, they're not going to ban you. They're going to pretty much throw it out the window. So they're going to be like, oh, this guy again, and then, they're just going to be like, oh, okay, well, I guess this guy has a vendetta. I mean, they probably know that you're doing something of that nature. They'll just be like, he has to be either, doing something to expose these people. I mean, they know. I mean, it's not like it's just random gamer tags reporting. I mean, they eventually will find out, but I mean, that's the best suggestion I can give you, though, and as we were saying earlier, is if you're able to change the gamer tag, go ahead and do so, and then I would just change the email associated with your account if that's the case. I mean, because the thing is, I mean, we still have your account information, so it's not going to change anything on our side. Mm-hmm. It's just, for your safety, I guess, in this case, and more for your, I guess, well-being on this. Then, that way, if people do try to track you down, it becomes harder to track down because then, your gamer tag changed, your emails changed, and that's the thing. I mean, and the only other thing I could suggest though is you'd have to be able to go online and I guess block certain people. Then you would have to do that yourself too, because I mean, it's like a little multi-step process, but I mean, if your main concern is that you don't want people harassing you or doing any of that, I mean, those changes should be able to help alleviate a lot of it. It's just, the only thing is you just got to make sure that when you are exposing, you don't give out too much information, and that way they don't have to track you down. I mean, you could say everything else that you can say. I mean, right. You could even make up whatever name,
to ruin my YouTube reputation. They would go and they would take, because they can spoof my profile, so whenever people, and they're there in my game, they'll hit their profile, but it takes them to my profile, which at the time, up until, I think 3 weeks ago when I finally changed it to say, I don't cheat in this shit, and then I'm not playing Xbox anymore. Before I changed it to that, it used to say my YouTube and hit, which therefore they would redirect, and then everybody that they would cheat against would see my YouTube when they got redirected to my account, and then go to my videos and hate on me, and say I cheated in their game. I'm like, I don't do that. I do the exact opposite.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, we want to make sure that Xbox Live and all this stuff is fair, but there's always going to be those few bad apples that just make it really difficult, for that, and that's why we have certain things in place. Now, I will say this. I mean, is there stuff that we can improve? I think we can always improve on that aspect. It's just the main thing is I don't know where and how we can go about doing that. I mean, and then and that's the thing. I mean, and that's why we have the Xbox feedback website, at xbox.uservoice.com to get the feedback from you guys on certain issues. And you know what? I mean, I actually will let somebody know what your situation is and see if maybe from that can we do something. But I think more than likely on that, I mean, it would have to involve the enforcement team, because if that kind of change needs to be made, then we'll just have to go through the right channels to do so. But I'll definitely pass that along for you on that. And then and let's see. But as far as anything else, I mean, that's pretty much what you're going to be at now. So I mean, if you can see if they could do something, then more power to you on that. But if not, like I said, I mean, you're just going to have to just get the fee and then change your gamer tag and then maybe change your email. But, hopefully, if when you do this, you don't expose too much information because you don't want them coming back at you either. But, then again, regardless, I mean, you could say 2 little things and those 2 little things help be able to find it. But
I'm sure they'll probably find a way either way. But
they always do. I mean, I had a friend actually. Speaking of which, I think he was telling me a story where he had another friend that was trying to get some people thrown out. He was playing. I think it was what was that game? Midnight Club, I think it was. It was one of those games where you have these different gangs and different cliques and groups, and how on Grand Theft Auto you have your crews and stuff. It was kind of like that. So so he was trying to expose these 2 crews that were just messing with them, and I forgot what he did, but he did something with YouTube where he had like put it out there, don't join this crew, don't join this crew. Well, unfortunately, the problem is that I guess one of the members of that crew was watching, and then like for months he was being harassed, and I think at the time I told him, tell your friend you need to change. He needs to change his gamer tag. He needs to change his email. I mean, I did whatever it took. I mean, after he did those things, I mean, he wasn't bothered because they couldn't find out what it was. And I told him, whatever you do, block, and then at that point, they couldn't find him. I mean, it took a long time before anything else ever happened. But I mean, since then, I haven't heard anything like wrong, bad, or anything. I mean, it's just. I just told him, I said, when you have crews and gangs and things like that, it's going to be hard because you don't know how many of them there are. You don't know, like, what their motive is and things like that. And I said, you just got to be careful, man, because you do stuff like that. I mean, it can come back to haunt you. And, sure enough, it did for a few months. So, I totally understand where you're coming from on that. I mean, his was just one crew. I mean, I can just imagine how many people, because I'm sure you do it like to like certain people. Is that what it is?
It was mostly. I mean, I did lots of games, and there's a community channel on YouTube that I ended up getting involved in because of what I do. It's Booster Busters, where they would expose hackers, boosters, and whatever on Call of Duty and all these other games. And
I see.
And lots of very popular cheaters who really, really hate me. And even now, when I don't expose people anymore, I have dislike bots on my YouTube channel just because of it. That if I upload a video, it gets instant dislikes without me doing anything.
Yeah. I mean, so okay. So I see how you do it. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, because like, that's the thing with those type of people. They're just not going to be, I guess, very receptive because you're actually trying to do the right thing, but they don't see it that way because they think what they're doing is right, and it's just, I don't know, it's just really messed up. And and the thing is, I mean, I've had one call, but it wasn't because they wanted to report something. I forgot what it was, but ended up they had some kind of suspension, and they're trying to say, well, I didn't do anything. It's like, really? And I mean, I didn't mean to be like facetious or anything about that, but I was just like, you just said that you just got into an argument, and I didn't mean to get mean with them, but I just said you just got into an argument. You said all these derogatory things. You don't think that you would have got suspended, So I wasn't trying to say it out of context, but but he was trying to sound like he was like the most innocent of people, and I wasn't trying to say that you're not, but if you tell me certain things, then your own words and your own statement doesn't tell me otherwise. I mean. Yeah, so we don't get calls that often from those actual people. I mean, it slips through, man, once in a blue moon and stuff. But honestly, I mean, they try to stay away because they know that they did something. They just don't want to admit it. So I mean, it's just like, hey, we just do the best we can to take care of the people that that do the right thing. Yeah,
there's been a few people that mod that I either exposed at some point or they knew the people I exposed and they modded themselves, and they ended up quitting modding because they seen my way of things. And then there's I don't know if you're familiar with the problem with Modern Warfare 3, but I think it was the end of 2015 or it was early 2014, whenever it was. There was a new hack they made for Modern Warfare which is able to access any player's account on Call of Duty, which means that my account immediately got jacked by the people that hate me, and I was put back to level 1. And then those people that liked me, they fought over my account for like a month, making me level whatever to whatever.
I see. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, when you find new things, I mean, it takes a while for us to pretty much get the, gist of it and then get all the people out. I mean, we only have so many, I guess, agents that can go around and actually investigate. So, I mean, if you have a large group that's doing it, I mean, we eventually would get to them, but it's just going to take time. So, I mean, and that's the main thing, because you could have a really big, thing where people are modding accounts and, whatever the case may be, altering the landscape of Xbox Live and, playing multiplayer, whatever the situation calls for. It's just, the problem is just we don't know at what time and when. I mean, we do have certain measures in place, but, then again, if that's all you're trying to do, and then you don't care and you find any which way to disrupt the landscape, then, there's really not much we can do if they get into everything and then do this, do that, because they just think they know better, and they spend all sorts of money trying to do elaborate things. To them it's worth it because they don't care. I mean, then...
Was there a place, other than just like other than the enforcement team's forum, is there a place to report issues that you become aware of hacking issues? Because I'm sure that Xbox, is probably aware of it, and I'm clearly not everybody, though, but...
Well, other than the enforcement team, what you could do is leave a feedback on the xbox.uservoice.com website, and then basically what you would do on there, it wouldn't be really to report, but I mean, you can report on there. You would just have to kind of post. As a matter of fact, give me just a second here. I'm going to actually go on that site for a moment here and then see if I can find something in regards to that and see if that will kind of help you out. Because, I mean, basically this feedback site would be for you to vote, but there are some things you can do. And let's see here. Let me see. Give feedback. Accounts and no, not accounts and subscriptions. Sorry, not the right category. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, so how would I do this? Report. Okay. See if it will give me something here. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so add spam messaging. Okay. So I'm actually looking because there's a ton of ideas that have been given on this. Let's see, accounts and subscription backwards compatibility. Yeah, so we have different categories on this too to give feedback about, and I'm trying to find the one about just being able to report players. So let me see if I can go back. Okay. Yeah, because, I mean, there's some really good ideas on here. It's just, I've got to, let's see. Okay, so let me put reporting players. See if that gives me anything here. All right, let's see. That's a good one. Let's see. When I report a player, I should be given the option to explain the reason for reporting the player since it may violate Xbox Live policies and code of conduct. For example, I was booted offline by another player and he even said he was going to do it. When an enforcement team looks into the player that has been reported, there's no way they will know what actually occurred. We need to be given the option to report a player under other, and then it should ask for an explanation why I am reporting a player. This will make enforcement much easier to show players that are using known or unknown violations. Okay, not bad. I mean, so I mean, basically what you would do is, I mean, you can actually leave your ideas and stuff, I mean, as far as reporting and, like, how we should do that. Because, I mean, I think that's one of those things, to be honest, that actually gets overlooked a little bit. I mean, because a lot of times, you know, we're trying to do, like, backwards compatibility, games, accounts, gamer score. But I think when you're talking about reporting players and whatnot, that actually is something that may not come to the forefront. And I think that might have to change just a little bit because of, you know, cases like yours. And I'm sure there's other people that'll call in with the same thing. I mean, it might not be that the guy does a YouTube either. I mean, it's just guys like you that want to expose hack. Yeah, I mean, people.
In my comments, there's, whenever I got my account messed with on NW3, there was lots of comments because they did it to other famous YouTubers after me. I was the first one that he did it to, but then he did it to FaZe Jev, who's a famous FaZe YouTuber. And then I got all these comments saying that other people's accounts got hacked. And so, for a long time, Xbox did great. Whenever it was like really new, they had constant title updates, which would constantly break their mods. But as of lately, it hasn't been as prominent.
Yeah, no, and you know, like I said, it's one of those things I definitely do understand from your standpoint. I mean, it's like I said. I mean, there's so many things that need to, I guess, come up to the forefront. And I think the only thing is, I mean, there's it's just like I think with any other like console or any other issues. There's got to be certain things where you can actually do and certain things you can't do. And, that might be one of those things that, I don't know, that just kind of needs to come up. Okay, so,
Right.
Here's one of the ideas, and I think I actually voted on this, now that I think about it, because I was actually streaming through this the other day and I actually voted for this. So, like, one of the ideas that I'll probably bring up again is, when you're trying to do a complaint, we should be able to add in videos or pictures. This is specific to issues where we are trying to report someone for cheating/system tampering, aka modding. Who knows how long the Xbox Live agent assigned to a complaint spends observing a player to determine if they are cheating? Wouldn't it be far easier if they could just watch a 5-minute clip uploaded along with the complaint? No, I actually agree.
Yeah, that'd be, like, for things like glitchers and stuff, that'd be great, because then they would very clearly be able to see it. They wouldn't have to take a guess or estimation as to whether or not they did it based on...
No, I mean, and I think for especially cases like yours and any other cases like that, it would make a huge difference. The only thing is being able to implement that, because, because I know we have like the game DVR and stuff. I don't know, maybe soon. Maybe sooner rather than later, you'll actually get one of those, wishes and one of those things that you can do that, because I think that would make it a lot easier if you're able to put in videos and pics. But the only drawback to that would be is that you don't want too many people putting in videos, because then you could have the people that are doing it themselves put in like fraudulent videos, and
that would be that would be the downside to it, because on Black Ops 2 Call of Duty for Xbox 360, if you go into, like, if I were to get on right now, I don't have live, but if I went to my my recent games where they are modding, because that's where all the modding usually takes place, is on Black Ops 2. If I were to go in my recent games, it'll show up as I played the game, even though I was never on. And if you go to that clip, which I can load as if I played it, it'll show up as me in game doing these things whenever I was never even on.
Exactly. So I mean, to like with that, I mean, I do like it. It's just that would be the downside. You'd have to figure out who's basically making a video up and who's not. So I mean, it's good. I just
the one thing I worry about, and that I wish Xbox would fix, is the fact that the modders are able to use their own stealth servers, and that's how they spoof my gamertag, is because you guys don't know the difference whenever I'm on, because he's using my unique user ID as his ID whenever he's spoofing it. So as far as you guys know, it's on, but it doesn't know it's me. And the players in game, it's me, but I'm never on. So
right. I mean, and yeah, so, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we always look at that, because every time there is a complaint with let's say modifying an account or changing it to where it seems like there's nothing wrong, but there is. I mean, there's things that, like I said, need to come to the forefront, for say, and those things. Yeah, I mean, it's. I think that's something that's actually being seriously taken a look at, because there's been more and more cases where that has actually happened. So, I mean, I know that's something that they do take very seriously. It's just, let's see, how do I put this? It's just one of those things where I guess it's just going to take a little bit more time than meets the eye to get it all, kind of smoothed out. Because, we could fix 1 account, 2 accounts, 10 accounts, 100 accounts. I mean, you name it. But there's always going to be those accounts that will not get fixed, because we just don't, for whatever reason, can't get to it on time, and then it's like too late. Because just the problem is, I mean, it's just so hard to monitor, say, like 1 million accounts at the same time, because if you're focusing on a certain segment, then that other segment can get hit. So, like, I don't know. I mean, I mean, your guess is as good as mine as far as that, to be honest. It's something we've got to look at. I will tell you that much. It's something that we have to, take into serious consideration. And, that's some of those things that I think it's more that the enforcement team needs to take a better look at, if anything, is those type of situations. Because, you think everything's going to go well, but you never know at any given time what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to be the issue, I think, at any point going forward, is trying to prevent that. Because you can learn from it, you could implement new things, more strict policies and things like that. But then if you try to do more strict policies, it takes away from the enjoyment of, I guess, others, that don't have a clue, or that are, maybe I could even use the word naive in this case, to that degree. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just trying to find the perfect balance, and that's something that I think is the hardest thing to do, just because of what's going on out there. I mean, because you can definitely have times where nothing goes on, or it might be like a very isolated case here and there, and then you're fine. But then the next day, it's just you get bombarded. I mean, it's just, right. I don't know. I mean, I do agree with you on one thing, though, in talking about all this. I do agree with one thing, that there does need to be probably a little bit more of a way to be able to report instead of the current system. Mm-hmm. So I will agree with you on that aspect. I think there are some things we can add. There are some ways that we can actually make it to where it's more specific in what you're trying to report, instead of being more of a general report like it is now. So, definitely that's something I can bring up to my management team, and then, from where it goes from there, you would just hope to keep your fingers crossed and get to a higher level, and then at that point, might actually turn the wheels a little bit, and then maybe can bring about some changes in the way that you guys can file a complaint, report, whatever the case may be when you're trying to expose the people that you expose. I mean, it's just, it's always it's always tough, and especially the way, especially how you guys do it, guys like you, it could be you, and I'm sure you're not the only one who does that. I'm sure there's like other people that do it. So,
there was on that community channel, there's the whole community of us that I became friends with a lot of these people that would do these things.
No, you're not going to, because it's such a risk reward type of thing to do, because you're putting yourself out there for the sake of everybody else that plays. I mean, I'm sure that if you talk to the average person that just plays and doesn't know about people getting into accounts and never had that happen, but just plays for the fun of it, and they'll appreciate you guys. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, they might not say it, but I know that on an overall consensus, they will tell you thank you from the bottom of their hearts, because you're doing them a great service. And like I said, from us here at Xbox, man, we would greatly appreciate what you guys do. It's just, not too many people can have that kind of, I guess, courage to be able to do the things that you guys do, as far as, exposing all these people and letting them know that, hey, what you're doing is not right. But, it's just, it's such a risk reward thing. I mean, like I said, me personally, I don't know if I could do it, because like I said, if I put myself out there, I would be exposing, and then I can't really put myself out there, because, then again, if I do, then I can't say well, I'm here at Xbox, and so forth and so forth, and then it's just, oh my goodness, I mean, just to protect the integrity of the company would just be, they would go all out the windows, like, hey, this guy needs, can never do that, because then people would actually try to find me. I mean, if you think it was bad enough, if I had to be in your shoes, and the fact that I'm here, it would make it 10 times worse. I mean, those guys would just have a field day, and
on the
it's
bright
just,
side, they probably wouldn't mess with you in most cases, because they'd probably fear you on the bright side. But
well, I mean, see, here's the thing. Here's how I look at that. You're right in that sense, but for those people who really don't care, that have nothing to lose, that just say, hey, I want to take this company down, then those people, they don't care. Because they're going to find a way to get to you and then say, oh, you know what, if we can get somebody that actually is in that company, then, you know, we did our part and bring Microsoft down. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I never really understood why they do it. I think because they think it's like the greatest thing on earth or something, but, you know, that's something I never ask because, you know, to me, if you're going to want to do that, then you must be mad at the world because you can't do it legally or
the regular way. Everybody else does.
You know, yeah, it's the thing. I mean, that's why I think when you hear a situation like that, or, you know, I get calls that say, hey, you know, I got my, you know, my account's been compromised, my account's been overlooked, you know, whatever the case may be, then you have a situation where it's just, you scratch your head and you can only do so much. I mean, but being able to, being able maybe to make people feel better and to kind of give them at ease is like the thing. You know, sometimes it's the hardest thing because you're already in that, you know, situations like, oh my God. I mean, especially with younger people, it's just like, you know, you have a hard time because you're trying to, you know, help them and you're trying to do your best, and it's just like they are just going nuts and. You know, and I totally understand. I mean, I think if you've been on Xbox or you have an Xbox Live account, you've had that happen, or you at least know someone that's had their account compromised, and it's never a fun thing to deal with ever, because I mean, you lost a lot of what your identity is, and I think that's the key. So, like I said, I mean, see what they can do. If they can't, I mean, I would just go with those two things and, you know, just hope for the best. And like I said, if anything, I can pass this along and see what happens and, you know, just kind of take it from there, man. I mean, like I said, again, I do commend you for everything you've done. You know, there's not enough for you guys out there. I'll put it that way. There isn't. You know, because if we had more people like you that would do that, I think it would make a huge difference. But you know, a lot of people just don't have that courage, and I think a lot of people don't want the negativity with it. So, you know, it's just one of those things. I will commend you personally on that. It's okay. I couldn't do it. I'll put it that way. I just couldn't. It's just too much, I think, risk in that case. I mean, say if it was different. Say if I wasn't with Xbox, right, and you know, just some average Joe, I might do it because then it's a little bit different because I'm not connected, you know, to like a company, like a, you know, big, you know, to something like this. Then it would be a lot different, you know. So it's kind of like you got to kind of watch what you're doing, how you're here, and it's like, you know, it's just one of those things. But I mean, like I said. You know, keep up the good work. I mean, I don't have any complaints on that. Just hope that for your integrity, you're able to kind of, I guess, fend off the people that really want to take your name down, you know, because it's a sad thing, man. I mean, if people want to try to take your name down just because you're exposing them for something that, you know, they know. And I guarantee you that deep down they know that what they're doing is not right, but they don't care. It's just their mentality. I mean, it's the type of like attitude that, you know, I would love to hear them defend. And I think, like I was telling you earlier, I think one time I did hear that, but they just kind of, you know, pretty much told themselves, and I was just like, I'm sorry, but if you did say all these things, then you probably got suspended. I can't help you out with that. Because, I mean, like when we look up stuff like that, it doesn't tell us why, and that's why we always let you, you know, we always refer you guys to enforcement on that, because it doesn't tell us. And you get a notification through your email, and it actually tells you why you got banned. And that's it. And
Yeah.
but other than that, man, I actually don't want to know, because I think deep down inside, it would infuriate me, and then I'll just be like, well, sorry, there's nothing we can do, and then just move on, and that's it. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, like I said, and on all fairness and everything, I will say this: good luck in your endeavor, because hopefully you can get what you want done. But one quick thing: did you have any other questions regarding your gamer tag, email change, or anything of that sort?
No, I think you covered most of it today.
Nope. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure on that. And then, like I said, keep up what you're doing. And like I said, I wish we did have more people that do the things that you do. Maybe your community will grow. Like I said, you never know. You could all of a sudden have like this guy, and before you know, your community is a lot bigger. Just got to be able to, have people jump on and see the visions that you guys have, and do the things that you do. And never know. I might catch you on YouTube. Because I don't really go on YouTube all that much, but if I do, when I do, I'll definitely take a look at your. I have a question. What is the name of your community?
Well, my channel, or the channel I'm a part of the community on. There's,
let's do the channel that's you're part of the community on.
That's Booster Busters. If you were to search it up on YouTube, should be, I think, top result. Pretty sure.
Booster Busters, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at it, and then never know. You might hear a comment from me, and they'll be like, "Hey, you talked to me over the phone," and then I'll be like, "Keep up the good work." That's probably what I'll say, and then you'll know. So. On that note, I want to thank you for being a part of Xbox, in that way, and thank you for calling in, and you have yourself a good night and good luck in all your endeavors.
You too. Thank you, sir.
Oh, hey, all right, bye-bye.
Bye.
If you really wanna get to know me,
everything I do, get it past slow. Think El Castro, knowing that the past broke. Not understand, now life's like a blast. Whoa, understand rules, it's eternity to blast mode. Listen, bad to be around, feel it steady though. Grooving on that speed when we up in the stereo. Listen, put the volume up, let's say what's up. Listen, all we doing this music, don't foolish up.